So John D did a thing, and it involved Street Fighter. So you know I got to talk about it, right? What's going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy MikeOfAllTrades, and yo, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we talk home arcade and gaming, whatever else. But today, I want to talk to you about this new product announcement. I want to give you my thoughts, not just from the aspect of someone who is an enthusiast for home arcade stuff, but as a Street Fighter player as well. So for anybody who knows me or doesn't know me, I love Street Fighter. Okay, like I love Street Fighter. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love Street Fighter. Okay, like even to the point where I still own this freaking super expensive like Mad Catz like freaking stick. Right, this one right here. I still own this because I love Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? So John D and Media1Up, as I drop my stick, have decided to announce Street Fighter cabinets. Okay, the Street Fighter 2 and the Street Fighter Alpha 2 cabinets. Okay, and they're partnered up with Iconic Arcade. All right, so if you guys know who Iconic Arcade is, they're the ones that they were selling their stuff through GameStop, and they had like that sale where they were selling them with like Raspberry Pi 4s in them and things of that nature. And they partnered up with John D. You know, now John's got a lot of people involved in the project. You know, he did Justin Wong did a quick stream, which, let's be real, kind of really didn't answer anything. It kind of served as an announcement, like teaser kind of thing. You know what I mean? They did a stream pretty much announcing the cabinet and things of that nature. But the games list is crazy, right? If you're a Street Fighter fan, a Street Fighter enthusiast, games are crazy. For the home arcade fan, you might have seen a lot of these titles before. Hell, you might own cabinets with these titles before. You've got Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Hyper Street Fighter 2 the Anniversary Edition. But you're also now getting Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter Alpha 2. You're getting Third Strike. I'm gonna say that again. You're getting Street Fighter Third Strike, Knights of the Round Final Fight, 1944 Giga Wing 2 Pro Gear, and if you pre-order it, you're apparently getting Captain Commando as well. So you're getting 15 games. Okay, 15 games. Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, 3, and Third Strike are going to be online, so you can play with people. This thing does have HDMI out, so you know, if y'all know me, I run tournaments and stuff. Was having to go through and jump hoops, whatever else with LVDS boards, or whatever else to get signals from Arcade 1-Ups, so we can do that. But now it's more content creator heavy and more esports friendly. I like to feel that like when they were saying that in stream, it was kind of pointing at the screen like, yeah, Mo, I'm talking about you, or talking about blast the speakers, or you know what I mean, or whoever else. DJ Oak does a lot of stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of caveats to this. So this is a 9/10 scale arcade cabinet. Okay, 9/10 scale. It's like 67 inches tall or 66 and a half. It's 23 inches wide. So it's like 6 inches shorter or wider than my X-Men cabinet, my actual X-Men cabinet. You know, 6 inches make a difference. This is about 6 inches. You know what I'm saying? So 6 inches make a difference. That's a 19-inch BOE monitor. I'm curious if that monitor has to be HDMI in, right? Because it's running on a Raspberry Pi 5, which is crazy. It's running on a Raspberry Pi 5. Okay. Now, the demo unit, the prototype had a Raspberry Pi before, a Raspberry Pi 4. And I'm going to be showing you guys footage. Yo, shout out to B. Carl, got DM'd him. He said it's cool for me to use this footage. So I want you guys to be able to see this because honestly, we're only seeing screenshots and stuff, and for you cats only showing screenshots and not showing no actual like gameplay or whatever, shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. But it comes in two forms. It comes in Street Fighter 2 artwork, which if I have a choice, that artwork on the side kind of needs to change. Just make it the big Ryu image. that long Street Fighter 2 logo on the side doesn't need to be there. And then there's a custom Street Fighter Alpha 2 artwork. It looks like, you know what I'm saying, like the game artwork. Kind of like how Arcade1Up did the Marvel's Capcom 2, and they used the PS2 and Xbox version artwork. It's like that on the side of Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, the Street Fighter Alpha 2, like, it looks better in my opinion, but the Street Fighter 2 cabinet is more classic. From the footage that I've seen, the marquee looks kind of washed out on the Alpha 2, but the one for Street Fighter 2 looks good. You can tell it's a prototype because, like, there were gaps in the control panel and things of that nature. But shout out to Bobby Vu, shout out to B, because they played a match, you know what I'm saying, in B's video, and the match looked really good. I didn't really see a lot of input latency. You know, listen, the cabinet can look good and whatever else, right? But it needs to play well, okay? The monitor seemed to be recessed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, maybe they tilt it a little bit more, you know. The cabinet's like, what, 66 inches? I'm 6'3.5", so I don't know how that's going to feel, but my X-Men's a little bit taller than that, but I'm imagining it's going to be like the same size as the Ki Pro. You know what I'm saying? I need to go measure my Ki Pro, the width of it, but I think it's like the same width and whatever else, right? No risers, so no risers. Light up coin doors. The buttons are like Hap clones or something like that, you know what I mean? They have a large throw, you know what I'm saying, no short throws or whatever else. Some people are like, yo, they want Sawa buttons. Some people are like, they want Hap buttons or Hap competition buttons here in the States, you know what I'm saying, back in the arcade. Look, for me, a button's a button. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what we used to deal with in arcades. We dealt with trash buttons and sticks, you know? Even now, if you go to an arcade here in, you know what I'm saying, Wisconsin, like, yo, like, some arcades aren't that well maintained. And some of them are kind of jank. You know what I mean? So, I think the power button, it's a big red button like under the speaker grill. That should be moved to the top so you can at least flip it on or whatever else, right? And I'm saying all this because they asked for feedback. So, that's just my thing. I have a really, really good question. Like, why are they using headphone jacks? Okay? You're running a Pi 5. A Pi 5 has Bluetooth on it. Why not just give the ability for people to sync up via Bluetooth? You know what I'm saying? And connect speakers or connect wires. That way you don't have a wire in the way of the first player stick or in the second player stick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's using headphone jacks in 2025, but hey, there's somebody out there. The waterfall deck, it's a good idea. I think it needs to be a little bit like move the screen back more so you can extend the deck more. You know what I'm saying? So like the deck's a little bit higher up so you can have somewhere to rest your hands, because like watching them play and looking at their hands, like it was kind of uncomfortable. And I don't know if this is final, but space it apart another 3 inches. Legit, watching B's hand and Bobby's hand almost touch together while they're pressing buttons, not really that good of a. It's bigger, but it's still one of them things where it's like, bro, I don't want to be touching nobody's hands if I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I think another 3 inches of width might be a good idea. The height's fine, you know. Again, it's 9:10 scale. I guess the question is, if it's 9:10 scale, why not just go all the way and just go full size? You know what I mean? But that's an eye of the beholder. You're still gonna have to assemble this thing. You know, I'll say this: 19K Fox had a stream and they showed the back of it. Well, they showed the insides or whatever, and it kind of looks like it builds like an Arcade1Up, like it's IKEA. You know what I'm saying? MDF or whatever else, right? We didn't get to see UI, so we don't know what the UI is like. We don't know if there's a digital storefront. I don't know if there's gonna be day one updates. Obviously, there's gonna be day one updates for when you get it, right? But we don't know if there's an online marketplace. And so coming to that, and they've been touting, like they touted a lot that this is with the Raspberry Pi Foundation and whatever else, right? And this is a commercial thing and not sideloading ROMs, whatever else, right? And nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever do that, right? But I'm wondering if there's going to be a digital marketplace for people to buy games. Let's be real. A Pi 5 is kind of strong to run some stuff. Even Third Strike, that's a lot of power. So hopefully maybe the thing is they're doing this model to bring other games. You know, maybe on the Street Fighter thing, maybe bring Ultra Street Fighter 4. You can get that for dirt cheap on Steam. Maybe they somehow find out a way to integrate Steam. That would be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You got this cabinet and you could put the Steam OS on there. and then just run your Marvel's Capcom Fighting Collection, or run whatever games from Steam. Because again, that's Pi 5. It's a lot. A Pi 5 can emulate PS2. It can emulate some Switch games, so it can do some stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that could be done. Honestly, I don't know if you really need the light up corridor. I get it. You know what I mean? But it's just like some of the stuff they're doing. I know they said they're not using deck protectors. It was just there on the prototype, whatever it was, right? But it's hard for people not to make the comparison to Arcade 1-Up. You know what I'm saying? Media1Up, Arcade 1-Up, that 1-Up show, my 1-Up show. You know what I mean? The comparisons, it's hard, right? Granted, John had a hand in a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I did see the cocktail table that Bobby made, and Bobby does phenomenal work. If you didn't see the control panel that Bobby made for me, the video will be right there. But I'd love to see the marketplace. I'd love to see the UI in this thing. See how it just runs like a live demonstration. There's a difference between showing something in a controlled environment and then showing something like running live where people can be like, okay, there's this, and this. But the one thing I'm wondering, and this is why I asked for digital marketplace, I don't know if their Media1Up's trying to eliminate the ability to have to purchase multiple machines. Not saying build a multi-game, but what I'm saying is like, treat it like AtGames, and you can buy games to download and things of that nature. He announced that they had partnerships with Capcom. I believe they said they had it with Bandai Namco, and I thought he said Sega. But if you got partnerships with Bandai Namco, why not just lead with Tekken? That Pi 5 can run Tekken 1, 2, 3 in Tekken Tag Tournament. I think that might have been more palatable. I think that's the real big issue with all this. It's like a lot of these titles outside of the FGC do, like a lot of these titles people have already. You know what I mean? Whether it be the emulation or through Arcade 1-Ups, whatever else, right? That being said, being able to play Alpha 1 through 3 and Third Strike is appealing. Not having to load up Fightcade. A lot of people don't want to do Fightcade. I remember seeing comments, people are like, well, how do I download Captain Commando if I buy the cabinet? Yeah, I'm serious. In 2025, people don't know how to download games. Or they can barely connect to the internet, So, I get it. I'm happy that there's competition because let's be real, if it comes to this or the AtGames 4K gimmick, I'd buy this. Because with the money you spend on that AtGames 4K gimmick that's supposed to be $1,400, you can buy 2 of these. He said they're taking suggestions. That's cool. I'll say this. Here are my suggestions. Right? Swap out the sticks and buttons. Granted, a casual's not going to care. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you're trying to target the FGC and trying to get these people to play, you know what I'm saying? Most of us are like, buttons are buttons, but maybe some violin clones or... You know what I'm saying? I haven't touched a button yet. I can only go off what B said. B said they feel all right. So, I trust B. Call him to Russ. Go drop him a subscribe. I trust what he says. The monitor, 19 inches. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a big, 26-inch monitor unless you're trying to build a multi-cade. I think that's a good size. You know what I mean? Move the power button. It does have USB ports in the front. So for you leverless players, so if y'all are out here and y'all want to connect USB to play 4-player games, or if y'all want to play Street Fighter on something like this, you can do that via USB. So that's cool. I think you leave that there. I don't know if you can move it. You know what I mean? But and just so that way you're not blocking the second player. I don't know if that can be moved, but maybe. Again, move the power switch. It's the marquee. Obviously, this is prototype stuff, but I'm assuming all this stuff's going to get fixed. You just don't want it to be a situation where you're like the competition and you're having to pump a bunch of money into something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you don't want. You don't want it to be to where people are going to swap out the buttons and sticks and whatever else, right? And they're adding cost, or they want to change out this or that. You know, the idea should be that you're better than your competition. You know, but for all intents and purposes, if you go back and you think about the first gen of Arcade 1-Up, and then you think about this iconic arcade thing, this is a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of changes that you can tell that were made that John was paying attention to. You know what I mean? You can tell that he was listening to community feedback and some things. You know, HDMI out, that's a big thing. Not just for me or other TOs, you know what I'm saying, but just people who want to make content, just people who want to stream. Like, you know what I'm saying, people who have a capture card and they just want to, you know, play some online games. I hope we get news about an online store, you know, because y'all know John's the king of licensing, right? You know what I'm saying? So get Shredder's Revenge or something like that, man. Like, if this could be a thing where it's just you can play everything in one, and you only need to buy one machine, and then just buy stuff off a digital marketplace, I think this will be a lot more successful. I think we're gone in the days where I think people want to buy a bunch of machines, you know. And realistically speaking, I don't know anybody who's owned an Iconic Arcade. So there's that. But I want to see the UI. I want to see some online matches. I want to know about the friend system and how that works. This is going to sound really dumb in 2025, but I want to know if there's spectate mode. You know, and I want to know, like, if there's like voice chat. That's the real thing. Like, I also want to know if there's voice chat. That was one of the big things that used to happen back in the day, when Put Your Cords on the Glass was very prevalent, and cats would sit in Discord calls or sit in voice chats on the Big Blues when they got activated, and they would play games and they would practice and things of that nature. You know, because let's be real, the community is going to drive this product, and the community is going to make it either thrive or sink. I know a lot of people got their pre-orders out and whatever else, right? And also the pre-order price is $6.99, but its regular price is $7.99. So it's also something you guys want to think about as well. They've got like 3 months to take suggestions and whatever else. So, yo, get your suggestions in. Let them know in the comments, yo. What do you guys want them to change? You know what I'm saying? What are you guys happy with? What do you dislike? Let them know. Hey, because I saw they subscribed to my channel the other day. So yeah, me, sticks or buttons. I'm gonna go with the buttons, the sticks. You know what I'm saying? I can play with a stick. Just give me some buttons. Move the power switch to the back. Find out a way to sync up headphones or speakers to Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Maybe move the USB port. And maybe fix the marquee on Street Fighter Alpha 2. And move the deck up. Like, extend the deck from the bottom and move the buttons up maybe like 2 inches so people can have somewhere to rest their palms. Those are my suggestions. Let me know what you guys got in the back, in the background, or what you guys think should change as well. I'm MikeOfAllTrades. Thank you guys for watching, and catch you on the next one. Later.